Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. My Comcast is out, and I'm on my backup server, which is not quite as fast. So I am hoping that it will hold on and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump has fallen out because she's been on this rampage of demanding the Epstein files. And Donald Trump did not like it. He said he is not going to support her. Now, she wanted to run for Senate, and Donald Trump told her no. So from that point on, she has been angry at him. And now he is saying, when she does run again, because I think she is up for election, he's going to back her opponent. So, but this is, like I said before, this is very biblical because we know the house of Esau is going to fall apart in these final days. You're going to see a lot of division, which we see. We already see the divisions and the infighting and everything that is happening among them. And this is just another example of that. At one point, he used to say Marjorie Taylor Greene was his strongest supporter, his strongest backer. And she was really cheerleading hard for Donald Trump at one point in time. Not anymore. So let's get into this, y'all. This is exactly what's supposed to happen in these final days. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Today, we're digging into a political blowup that has the entire conservative world buzzing. The relationship between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump has officially cracked, and this time it's personal, public, and connected to the fallout surrounding the newly released Epstein-era documents. Let's break it down.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. As promised, we're going to be getting into some of the latest headlines. This having to do with the Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene as she's sparring back and forth with President Trump on social media. We've been watching this here behind the scenes on Live Now from Fox, and we want to bring you some of those posts to continue to add context to this conversation. Putting this one up, this is the latest post that's gone out from the representative's page, really in just the last 2 hours or so. She says, quote, "I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats were made against me and are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world."
The breakup no one saw coming. For years, MTG was one of Trump's biggest defenders, loud, loyal, and always ready to go to battle for him. But everything changed when Greene published a series of messages she claims were exchanged between herself, Trump, and a woman named Natalie. In these messages, Greene expresses frustration, disappointment, and a sense of betrayal. She says she went all in for Trump, only to have him pull support when she needed him most. Trump, of course, responded in classic Trump fashion, publicly dismissing Greene and saying she had gone far left, which for Trump, world basically means you're no longer useful to me. This wasn't a quiet political disagreement. It was a public breakup.
Okay, so here's something you probably never thought you'd see, and that's President Trump attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene and saying that he's withdrawing his support for her. In a late post on Friday night on Truth Social, the president went on a rant against Marjorie Taylor Greene after she had been criticizing him lately. And he said that despite all the accomplishments he says he's achieved for the United States since retaking office, he says, quote, "All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain." The president claims that he sent Marjorie Taylor Greene a poll showing that she shouldn't run for senator or governor in her home state of Georgia, something that has been a big question lately. And he says that ever since then, she has told many people that she is upset that he doesn't return her phone calls anymore. But then he cites all of the people that are in Congress and how busy he is. And he says, in leading an otherwise normal life, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. Here's what MTG had to say. President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send him these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge, the Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. She goes on to say, I have supported President Trump with too much of my precious time, too much of my own money, and fought harder for him even when almost all of the Republicans turned their back and denounced him. But I don't worship or serve Donald Trump. Now, of course, this comes after Marjorie Taylor Greene has been critical of the White House, saying that they need to stop doing so much focus on foreign policy. They need to focus more on domestic policy, what the president had been running on the campaign trail. And also where she broke with the president, including in interviews with me, saying that despite he says there's virtually no inflation and that grocery prices are down, she's argued the opposite. She's also broken with the White House when it comes to how they've handled the Jeffrey Epstein saga, as that's been playing out as well.
The leaked texts. Greene's screenshots show her confronting Trump and Natalie about promises she says were broken. She insists she stood by Trump during his toughest moments, from impeachments to indictments, only to feel abandoned now. While Greene doesn't release the full context, what she does release paints a picture of miscommunication, power struggles, and Greene feeling played. It's unusual to see a political insider publish private messages with a former president. That alone tells you how deep this fallout really is. Greene says she is heartbroken, which is not a term politicians often use in public. This isn't just strategy. This is emotion mixed with political survival.
Donald Trump, he has tried to extinguish this self-started fire that is the Epstein files over the past few months. And the newest flame that he is now facing is, as you said, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, this is a fervent supporter of Donald Trump over the years. I've interviewed her a handful of times, pushed her on some of Donald Trump's unpopular policy. She has always adamantly supported the president overnight and actively as we speak. That is rapidly changing. I just spoke to one White House official who told me that he saw this eventual fight coming from miles away. I want to briefly just read some of the back and forth that we're seeing play out by the hour on social media. Trump posted on Truth Social earlier today that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. Then Greene, in response, just a little bit later, saying that I never thought that fighting to release the Epstein files, defending women who were victims of rape, and fighting to expose the web of rich, powerful elites would have caused this, but here we are. Now, Trump's ongoing battle with Marjorie Taylor Greene, that, like I said, we're seeing play out in real time, is really the most recent in a pattern over the past week of Trump trying to silence Republicans who want to see the Epstein files released. Just to quickly walk through this, Trump called Nancy Mason, had conversations with her, trying to get her to not vote yes to releasing the Epstein files. Trump hosted admin officials, hosted Lauren Boebert at the White House in the Situation Room right behind me, of all places, where they tried to get her to vote no on releasing the Epstein files. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is the next in line of those Republicans that he is trying to go after. The through line here is that though Trump ran on releasing the Epstein files, he is trying to get Republicans in this mounting support to release them to stop doing that, which is super notable.
Where the Epstein files come in. Now, here's where things get interesting. The leaked text came out right after the massive new release of Epstein-era documents. The timing has everyone talking, and Greene herself referenced the file release indirectly in her posts. To be very clear, we are not talking about criminal accusations against anyone. We are talking about political fallout, public scrutiny, and how public figures respond when major document dumps put pressure on their alliances. The new Epstein documents have been putting many politicians, celebrities, and elites under a microscope, even if their names appear only in passing or in unrelated contexts. And when pressure builds, Political alliances crack. That is exactly what we're seeing with Trump and MTG.
Dogged by a man who's been dead for more than 6 years, Jeffrey Epstein. Late yesterday, the president broke with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a one-time staunch ally, who was among 4 House Republicans who joined all 214 Democrats to force a vote next week on releasing the Justice Department's Epstein files. In a Truth Social post, Mr. Trump called her a ranting lunatic and said, "All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain." Mr. Trump left Washington late yesterday, but couldn't escape the controversy. Aboard Air Force One, he sought to deflect attention onto political opponents.
It's really a vanity being what he spent all the time at Bill Clinton with the president of Harvard, that is Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is, that all of the other people that he spent time with.
There haven't been any allegations that either former President Clinton or Larry Summers did anything wrong. Jonathan Lemire is a staff writer at The Atlantic. Jonathan, we should start off by saying right off the bat, there have been no allegations of wrongdoing against the president either in this. But this story got a little gas this week because of new material that was released. Remind us, what was it and what did we learn new about the president's relationship with Epstein?
Well, we've been hearing about these so-called Epstein files for years now, and that's not what we got this week. But what happened was a few emails were released by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee that shed some new light on the Epstein-Trump relationship. We've certainly known that they're friends. These emails, though, suggest perhaps closer friends than the president would like the public to know. And then in response to that, the Republicans put out 23,000 emails, sort of an effort to flood the zone, to distract from the damaging ones that came out. Although I don't think it really worked, because some of those emails also, a lot of them mention Trump, and some of them make clear that Epstein and Trump, were friends and spent a lot of time together, even though they did later have a falling out. What's so striking about this is that it's a rare moment where Republicans are willing to defy him. Some of his most loyal allies have rebuked his calls to let this just go away. And now we seem barreling towards a vote on the House floor in the coming days.
Given that material that was released, the discharge petition to force the vote, what do you make of the way the president is reacting and responding to all of this?
Well, as I wrote for The Atlantic this week, even some of his closest allies are puzzled by his approach. As one said to me, that this is not how you act if you don't have anything to hide.
Why Trump pulled away? According to Greene, Trump became distant, dismissive, and unwilling to publicly support her. She claims that despite all the loyalty she showed him over the years, he left her hanging. Some insiders say Trump is choosing to align with other candidates he believes are more media friendly. Others say Trump doesn't want any distractions while he's dealing with the Epstein document headlines. Whatever the reason, Trump's message was clear. He said Greene had changed and he would not support her politically moving forward. This wasn't just a disagreement. Trump cut her loose.
See, now this is where being a cornered rat and also having dementia starts to become a problem. This little tweet gives away quite a lot, because now basically admitting that there are things that he should have in his first term investigated as far as the Epstein stuff is concerned. And now he's naming those things. So you need to go after JP Morgan Chase and Reid Hoffman and Larry Summers. Sure, lock them all up. We don't care. Sure, go ahead. But how come you didn't in your first term then? It's just really looking bad for you, because do you remember this? Yeah, that's only a few months ago when you told all of your supporters that you were releasing all the files, and they came and they got these cool binders. And then remember, they were all pissed off because you didn't actually tell them anything that they didn't already know. And now you're telling them that you're weak and you're stupid for still bringing this up. You ran on this, buddy. You ran on this. You were going to drain the swamp and release all these files. And now here you are, very, very cornered, because your name appears in these emails more than 1,000 times, more than anybody else is mentioned. And the obvious questions are, why are you so close to this guy? Why did you have Thanksgiving dinner with him in 2017 when you were already president? Why were you sharing a pilot and a plane with this guy? You are way too connected. And it doesn't look good. And any of these Republicans that even an ounce left of integrity or attachment to reality are starting to question, wait a minute, hold on. And this is just the beginning. This isn't even the files. I predict that the House is going to pass that bill next week overwhelmingly. And I predict that the Senate is also going to pass it. So then it's going to come to your desk, Donnie. And what are you going to do? You going to veto it? Oof. That looks guilty. Yikes. Maybe they'll even pass a veto-proof majority. And then you'll be stuck. Yeah, it's the beginning of the end. It is.
Political impact. This feud has serious political implications. Marjorie Taylor Greene has a large vase. She has money, she has influence, and she knows how to rally a crowd. So when she publicly turns on Trump, it sends shockwaves through their shared supporters. Some are taking Trump's side, saying MTG is overreacting. Others say Trump should have handled things privately. And many are calling this the biggest conservative split since the MAGA movement began. And because the leaked messages came out right during the buzz around the Epstein-era files, it adds another layer of tension, speculation, and media attention. This is bigger than a petty disagreement. This is a fracture inside Trump's most loyal circle.
Oh my, oh my. Donald Trump is in a pickle because he has now officially dropped Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I think what he was expecting was that the base would come along with him. But what we're seeing now is that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she has a slippery snake because she has, I think, won this first battle in what is a larger war for the MAGA base. And I think Donald Trump is in for a rude awakening. So he launched a levy of attacks at Marjorie Taylor Greene last night. And today I'm going to take you through them. Marjorie Taylor Greene leaked text messages that were private sent to Donald Trump. And I've got a lot of MAGA people who are really just disowning their association with Trump. We have 3-time Trump voters who are saying they're sick of it. So let's go into Donald Trump's attacks first, and then we'll get into the responses. Marjorie Taylor Greene got a new nickname. I think he's kind of lost his curveball on this one. Lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Brown, and he has to explain it to us. Green grass turns brown when it begins to rot. Like kind of weak. Betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left, performed poorly in the pathetic View, and became the rhino that we all know she always was. Just another fake politician, no different than Rand Paul Jr., Thomas Massey, who got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name only, make America great again. He also said Marjorie Taylor Greene, he's trying that out, is a disgrace to our great Republican Party. Now, interestingly, look at these responses. MAGA is dead. This is a verified person on Truth Social. It doesn't get more MAGA than that. MAGA is dead. Donald Trump, 3-time voter for you. You have abandoned MAGA first. Someone else said, stop the bullshit, Donald Trump, in case there wasn't any doubt or confusion on what Americans want. We want 0 Chinese students in our universities, 0 H-1B visas, 30 million illegals deported, Jesus Christ, and lots and lots of perp walks. So there's just, I'm gonna give you one more. It starts with strongly disagree with you on this one. She's for the people. Her outbursts have been valid. Donald Trump is in some deep doo-doo. And Caitlin Collins in CNN said as much, and the White House is truly in deep chaos over all of it that they cannot control. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is, I feel like I don't want anyone to get hurt. Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that she is now under physical threat. She says, I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world. The man is supported and helped get elected. Aggressive rhetoric attacking me has historically led to death threats and multiple convictions of men who were radicalized by the same type of rhetoric being directed at me now, this time by the President of the United States. As a woman, I take threats from men seriously. I now have a small understanding of the fear and pressure the women who are victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his cabal must feel.
What happens next? Greene says she is done being silent. She says she supported Trump for years, and she's not going to let him throw her under the bus. Trump, on the other hand, is brushing her off like she's irrelevant. The reality is, both of them need each other less now. Trump is focused on his political comeback. Greene is focused on preserving her own brand and influence. And with the political spotlight burning hotter thanks to the Epstein file release, neither one wants to be dragged down by the other.
Actually, you are the disgrace to the Republican Party, not Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I never thought I'd say that, but I do say it as the daughter of a former Republican. I was raised by a Republican dad, and you are not a Republican. And listen, now I'm not trying to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene should be forgiven for all her sins, no, but calling her Marjorie Trader Greene, well, it has a better ring to it than what you were calling her last night, Marjorie Taylor Brown, because when grass rots, it turns brown. Honey, I don't think you've ever taken care of a lawn in your life. But anyway, you're continuing going on this tantrum all because a woman wants accountability. While it might not be legal or civil, there is moral accountability to be had here with the release of those files. You see, Congress is going to vote next week on releasing the JE files, okay? And you are trying to scare as many people as possible into voting no. But honey, where's the courage of the old GOP? Do you think Reagan would be throwing a hissy fit on social media had it existed? I don't think so. I don't think Ronnie would do that at all. Do you think Nixon would go on a temper tantrum like that? Now, he had a temper, don't get me wrong, but do you think he'd put it out there publicly? No, sir, you are the disgrace.
Final thoughts? This story isn't about accusations. It's about how political alliances collapse under pressure. It's about loyalty, ego, and survival. And it's about how major document releases create shockwaves far beyond the names directly involved. Trump and MTG were once inseparable in the political arena, but now they're on opposite sides of a very public, very messy breakup, and neither one is backing down. Well, look like this feud is probably going to go on for a while. And they're going to be voting to release the Epstein files this week. Oh, I'm loving it. Oh, I'm loving it. Trump is getting ready to crash out, y'all. He getting ready to crash out all the way. I love it. I love it. Yeah, y'all keep not getting along because it's very entertaining, by the way. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. I want to thank the people that have been giving me Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate your support. And I really do need your support, y'all. I really need that support. So, everybody, please enjoy the rest of your night. May the Most High always walk with you. And we'll be coming back tomorrow to do it all over again. Shalom, family.